Hey everybody, welcome back to RAS Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at the HTVRONT Auto Tumbler Heat Press. So a few weeks back I purchased a Cricut machine. My daughter is in gymnastics and we bought her a bunch of new leotards and she wanted her name on the back, so we started to use the little bedazzle beads, and trying to line up and place those things one by one were really a pain in the butt. So I started looking around to see what you can do to make things easier, and that's how I came across a Cricut machine. So I used the Cricut machine to make a template, and then I was able to use a heat source and get them all glued down at once, and it went from taking about an hour to do a leotard to about 10 minutes. And considering the fact that we had 7 leotards to do, I was more than happy to give it a shot, and it worked out good. Now, come to find out, there is a bunch of things that you can do with that machine, and I've been having a bunch of fun making t-shirts and signs and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So another thing that you can do is customize coffee mugs or tumblers, and really the way that you transfer things from what you've made to what you're trying to put it on is through heat. So Cricut does have their own heat press designed for their coffee mugs, but that's about all you're going to get in there is coffee mugs. So I found this HTVRONT, which is like the #1 generic Cricut supply store, but this should be able to handle both coffee mugs and larger tumblers. So let's take a look and see what we get. So this is the package here. Okay, it comes with a big roll of heat transfer tape. So this is basically just tape that when you make a design, it'll hold it in place, and when you apply any kind of heat, the tape won't disintegrate. Then we got a Be Cool glove. You can put that on, slap people around, or maybe even possibly use it so you don't burn your hands. That is a pair of gloves there. Okay, and then we have the machine itself. So what happens is when you press go, these pads here, I don't know if you can really make that out, will squeeze down along the cup and apply heat evenly all the way around. So it looks like we've got a power button, your temperature control, and your timing control. And then some, your plus and minus to change. And not sure what that button is. We'll see if we got an instruction manual and figure out what that does. Okay, so the timer will go from 1 to 600 seconds, and the temperature ranges from 210 degrees Fahrenheit to 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so the little R button there was start. So instead of trying to do guesswork when you are doing a project, you can look up the time and the temperature you're supposed to use to make sure you have a successful transfer of your material. So those settings you can just plug in. This is the temp, this is the time, hit start, and it'll beep when it's done. So that way you know it should be safe to pull out and get your stuff transferred. But enough talking about this stuff. Let's go ahead and there's a cup that I've been thinking about doing for somebody, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll take a look and see how it works. So let's head over to the Cricut machine. Okay, so we used the Cricut machine to cut out our, not our stencils, but our design, and then we're going to go ahead and stick that on this coffee mug here. We'll stick it inside that heat press and see how it does. So they were recommending 400 degrees for 3 minutes. So we'll hit our power on button. We'll hit our temp. So it maxes out at 390 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll have to just increase it, and we'll do 4 minutes instead of 3 minutes. Okay, then we'll just hit that R and we'll just let that heat up to temperature, and then we'll give it a go. Okay, so rookie move, as it was heating up, I hit pause on the camera so that way there wasn't a bunch of dead space, and I went ahead and put the mug in there and hit start while the video wasn't recording. So basically, let me explain how this all goes. Once it got hot enough, I just slid the cup handle facing out into the center, hit the R button. This area here compressed down around the cup and provided that constant heat around it. It sat for 4 minutes. All I did was, so basically what happens is everything was on this paper. I wrapped it around the cup. I used some heat transfer tape to hold it into place. Slid it in there like I said, hit start, and 4 minutes later, we got ourselves a coffee cup with ink that's infused like it was painted on there. So be careful, it is hot. So we'll go ahead and let that cool down. And while that's cooling down, I'll just kind of give you my thoughts. So first, let's take a look at the two different prices between the Cricut and the HTVRONT press to see what the price difference was. But more importantly for me, like I said, that Cricut one is only as tall as this size coffee mug, which is their large mug. If you wanted to do anything larger than that, you wouldn't be able to do it with that Cricut press. Whereas this is about 10.5 inches long, so you can go up to 10.5 inches, put in there and get that heat press around the whole thing. So that is the whole reason why I went this way versus going through the Cricut press, just because it made more sense to me in the long term, other than just having the branded one. If there was a branded one that was like that, I probably would have went with it just to make sure I had all the same Cricut stuff. But this one works perfectly fine, as you can see. So the only disadvantage that I saw is, like I said, it only goes up to 390 degrees. So when it's calling for 400 degrees, I just added another minute on there, just some basic beer math to see if it would work. And it worked good enough as far as I can see. With that being said, if you found this video useful, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button so that way it gets seen by more people across YouTube. And if you're into reviews where you get to see an old fat guy sweating in his garage while he's making videos for you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you ring that bell, you'll get notified every time a new video comes out. Other than that, that's going to do it for us this time. We'll see you next time. Bye.